Nithyanandam, with gratitude to our Guru, His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda Swami, our Swamiji, I welcome you today to this live Facebook video with my dear Ma Nithya Mukthikananda, who is the Mahant of our local Los Angeles Adinam. And she has a family. Now, many of you, based on the videos I've been posting, may think there's only sannyasis in our Sangha, but we actually have many families, children, couples who also join and have decided to have the family life. And both are part of our Nithyananda Sangha. So I thought it'd be great to talk to Muktika today and allow her to share her experiences as a several-time Inner Awakening graduate, as a mother of 2 sons, raising them in the US, and what transformation she's seen in herself and in her 2 kids. And so we can just start off with, so when was the first time you took the Inner Awakening program? And actually, she's originally from Hyderabad. She speaks Tamil, Telugu. She's quite Hindi. So she's been in the US for how many years now?
Almost 21 years.
21 years. Yes. Lived in New Jersey and Seattle, and now she's here in Los Angeles. So we're very happy to have her here. And so you took Inner Awakening in December 2009, right?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
We were there at the same time.
Yeah.
So I guess just from a, before and after kind of transformation, like what did you experience or what did your kids experience?
Sure. See, when my journey started with Swamiji, I don't think I necessarily looked at being spiritual or even having the cognition of what it means to be spiritual, right? I came from a Brahmin family. I come from a Brahmin family, and we've always had festivals celebrated at home, pujas happening at home. And we also, went to the temple, and we've been what you would call a normal average family in India.
Right.
And so you take God as how you're shown, and you don't question it, but you just take it as a presence that exists and you go along with it. So nothing, it's, you completely believe in it, but you don't have the questions to ask, right? So that would categorize me, I would say.
Sure.
But from then to when Swamiji came into our lives in 2009, we met him in April of 2009 in Seattle. And from that time onwards, something triggered where there was a curiosity of knowing or even understanding. Initially, whatever he said just went whoosh. But I never felt like saying no. And my husband, Ma Nithya Mukthikananda, and myself, we went and attended his talk in Seattle. And then, we started attending more of his programs. And then Mukta went to Inner Awakening.
Right.
My kids were 4 and 9 at that time, pretty young. And so didn't feel like saying no. Didn't feel like saying, oh, we can't do this or not. But just more curious to see what this was all about.
Right.
Something about Swamiji made it feel very natural, right? You just felt the affinity, you felt very attracted, and you wanted to see what this was about. And definitely more than me, Mukta was much more into spirituality because his family, they used to sit and talk a lot. They had, a lot of spiritual debates and things at home, which I was alien to. But it was nice. And Mukta came back from Inner Awakening, and see, we were an average good family where everything went naturally. According to plan, according to, how normally a family is. But after he came back from Inner Awakening, you could see that there was something different about him. Something where you felt he was very happy with himself.
Wonderful.
That presence, you can't miss it. And the way he felt about himself and about things around him and how he just aligned with it. I could notice that happiness in him, the bliss that he came back with. And after that, he was involved with the temple in Seattle. And then there was a day when a few months later, I went to Costco, and I had taken out some of this. This story actually quite a few people know. but I had cut Costco coupons.
Costco is a supermarket.
Costco is a supermarket, a warehouse here.
Yeah.
And so we went, I was going to go there, and they normally had coupons, and I had given and I wanted to take a coupon with me. But unfortunately, when I reached Costco, I saw that I had not taken the coupon with me. And for some reason, it really bothered me. And I said, how can I not have this with me? And I was walking around the aisles in Costco trying to figure out what I need. And when I went towards one of the aisles, suddenly there was this paper that just floated in front of my eye. It was like a little trickle piece of paper.
Yeah.
And I picked it up and I saw it landed right in front of me. And it was the exact coupon that I had cut, which I had left at home. There was no way that it could have, come right in front of me, in Costco.
Yeah, for those of you who don't shop in the US, coupons, there's a million of them. Like you get them in the mail, there's almost too many coupons. So
Yes.
it's not like just a few floating around.
Correct.
Like it's very...
Absolutely.
So,
and there was nobody around me.
so how did you connect this back to...
And see, initially you go by logic, right? There is this thing where you try to figure out how can something logically be possible. You look at science and then you say, oh, this has to happen because of this.
Yeah.
But there was absolutely no reason to say, why did that coupon land in front of me?
Except you wanted it.
I really wanted it. I had a deep intention in me saying, how did I miss it? And I really needed it. And it just happened, and I felt as if I had called the cosmos without even knowing that I had done.
Yeah.
Inadvertently, I had, felt I had put in an intention saying I need it, and how could I have missed it?
Yes.
And things like that, subtle things started happening. And more I noticed was me becoming more observant, me becoming more aware of things around me and within myself.
Right.
And I never thought of going to Inner Awakening. It didn't come up as a natural process, but then Swamiji visited our home in 2009 when he came again to Seattle. Mukta was very keen on having him visit our home.
Right.
And we
What
said,
a blessing.
okay. It was, I think, the moment we saw him entering the door, it felt like he just filled up the whole space.
Right.
And for somebody who was completely new, to watch this in awe was, all I could do is just stare, watch, and be amazed at what I was experiencing, not understanding what it was, right? He was giving me an experience, but I just took it as it came, but never thought about it.
Right.
And then, Mukta, we were sitting in front of Swamiji, and he was looking at some books, and then he looked at me and said, come to Inner Awakening, Ma. I was like, okay. And then he said, what? Confusion. I said, yeah. And then things just automatically started panning out, where I came to LA to do my first Nithyananda Spurana course with Swamiji here. And then after that, Mukta said, he said one thing. Mukta said, when I went back home, I will take care of the kids. I will take care of everything. You just go. And he said, don't worry about anything else, but I think you need to do this for yourself. And I think in all my years of existence, and especially after marriage, I had never done that for myself. Never prioritized myself. And I think that was the first in me taking up a journey on my own. But somewhere knowing that I was protected, constantly being supported and helped. And I came to India, I came to Bidadi to do the Inner Awakening in 2009. That was the third Inner Awakening Swamiji was doing.
Yes.
And there were so many of us from Seattle. And I can really say the moment I entered Bidadi, Bengaluru Adina, there was this gust of air that just blew in my face. And it felt like a fresh, new lease of life. That's what I could think of. And that's the first thing that struck me then. And there's so much to say about it. And I think I had a blast, to say the least. It's like a huge cosmic party to be with Swamiji. But you learn the essence of what is life. And you learn to know yourself. You learn to be on this journey. And you experience really what it means to be in His presence and to understand. What is this process of understanding who am I? what do I want in life, and what am I here for, right? These questions that we normally never ask ourselves.
Actually, Swamiji says, inner awakening, he's introducing you to you.
Yes.
And then from there, the journey
absolutely
really just goes on a roller coaster.
Yeah, definitely. And funnily enough, when Mukta was in inner awakening in June, July earlier,
Right.
He wanted to get a spiritual name. And I said, no, how can you change your name? And I said, I just changed my name and added your name to my surname. So you can be changing your name. And I went in December. At the end of it, I asked for a spiritual name and I got my name.
Actually, I wanted to bring up a beautiful point. What Ma Muktika is sharing, how Mukta supported her to her journey to go to inner awakening, and how she supported him to take the spiritual name and eventually also get one for herself, is a beautiful example of how Grihastas in the Nithyananda Sangha just become strengths for each other on each other's spiritual path. For each, when they both decide to take this path, the common denominator is Swamiji.
Yes. Actually, I call him, he's the spiritual, the cosmic glue. Cosmic glue that's holding us together.
Yes.
Helping us understand each other more.
Much deeper.
Much deeper. And understanding that each one has their journey. And it's about how you support each other in the journey. How you understand how it's not about allowing each other. It's just being there to support and helping each other move forward, understanding themselves and working towards their enlightenment. And if it was not for Swamiji, I don't think that understanding would have ever come.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Now, you have now your two sons. One is 18, 17?
He's almost 17.
17.
And the other one is almost 13.
So the 17-year-old, I've seen a lot of transformation in him, especially because just like in India and the US, like going to high school in this kind of society, there's just so much pressures, so much outside influence. It's not really a great place unless you are really grounded and you have a great support system.
True.
So I can see with him that there is a grounding that he's doing, but he's not like as insecure that like the kids I went to school with or how I was at that age. There's a coolness about him.
Yes.
He's still a kid, but there's something like mature.
Yes, definitely. One thing what I've learned from Swamiji is how to actually help myself and my family to be in constant communication, to understand each other, to support each other, and to help each other explore options, and with the right context and understanding. See, the awareness of who we are, where we are, what are our possibilities, which is actually endless, right? The more you sit and listen to him, every day when we listen to Swamiji in his daily satsangs, or every program that he does when we sit in front of him, as I don't think I've missed almost any program ever since I've known Swamiji. All his online programs and everything. Every time we learn something about ourselves. And I think one of the biggest things where Swamiji has helped me a lot, right, is to really understand how I am there as a guide, as a support for my kids, who are entities by themselves,
Right.
who are individual beings, who are here for their own purpose. See, I don't control them or I don't own them, but I am meant to be the support that will help them positively grow.
Catalyst.
Absolutely. And for them to know that Swamiji as our guru, as our guide, as our mentor, is the omnipresent divine presence that will be there no matter what, for us to explore every avenue. And when we do that, the kind of confidence and inner strength that comes, it's priceless. There are no words to express that, because it is something to be experienced.
Yeah.
And I've learned to help my kids experience it for themselves. for most part, I don't tell them, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. There are certain times when I know that, if let's say they're not able to make the decision, then I tell them that I'm going to make the decision and we work towards it. But otherwise, it's okay for them to make mistakes. It's okay for them to learn by themselves.
Who they are, what
they are, whether they, it's not that they have to be doctors or engineers or anything. It's not about the identity, right? It's about the path and the growth they want to put themselves through. And my older one was actually sharing just a few months ago. We were talking about how, whether he's going to go to what colleges is he going to go for, and what kind of courses does he want to do. And we actually were talking about it, and he said, I'll do this, I'll do that. He wants to do something in film. So I said, great, go explore and see. Unless he finds out. If I tell him everything, he's not going to understand the value of it. He has to take what I can share, I can motivate him and guide him to various sources for him to find out and know and explore. And he was saying something very nice. He said, anyways, I know I will come back to LA, even if I go out somewhere else, because I know I have to be part of the temple. See, from somebody who was trying to figure out his way around or trying to see, when we moved from Seattle to LA, the kids found it very difficult because they've grown up for 14 years there. And my younger one had grown up there. He was born there. And the older one was just 2 when we moved. And so for like 12 years or so when we were there, it was a big thing for them when they moved. They felt like the ground was shaking under them. But from that to understanding the greater purpose, accepting it and feeling good about it, I can see the change in them. I talk to them, we discuss a lot together. There's so many options that we consider and they get to do their own thing. But with an underlying context of doing what is done with awareness, with intelligence, and understanding how this is going to carry them forward. So that's the beautiful, beautiful change I think that's happened in my family.
Which is a relief as a mother to not know Swamiji is taking care.
I know Swamiji is taking care. I know he is the presence in our life, and I just flow with him.
Sure. So you've also started to manifest powers, right? So you've got initiated from Swamiji doing Sadashivoham last year and throughout the different programs. So what are you experiencing with the power manifestation? How has it caused a shift in you?
One of the biggest things I've seen is my power of intuition. When I go somewhere or when I'm talking to someone, something in me I know it has awakened, and I can see the difference. I can intuitively know what's going to happen. I was able to roll a coconut if somebody wants to see physically what we're able to do. I'm able to do a few body scans, though I have to say I have to manifest a lot more. Constantly be at it, play with the powers, see where it takes me. And then I've seen a few letters blindfold. So it's very exciting. You actually really start feeling like you're a child.
Yes, exactly.
And I still remember the day when in LA, in the temple in the Adinam, we had the initiation by Swamiji online on 2-way. Imagine so many miles away, and Swamiji is doing an initiation from Bengaluru Adinam. Almost everybody sitting in the hall, right from a 10-year-old kid to a 70, 80-year-old person. First timers, brand new, got to experience it, and they were all rolling coconuts. The excitement was just unbelievable. Everybody was going, saying, hey, I can roll a coconut. It was so nice to see the child in them come out. You become alive, actually. You don't look at yourself and say, oh my God, my life is already done. It's halfway done. Oh God, there's nothing more I can achieve. These are all words that you got to ask yourself, saying, where did I learn this, right? Why do I hold that as my perception about myself? And you just throw those thoughts out in the garbage and you say, let me see what I can do today, right now.
And that's what Swamiji calls having powerful cognitions.
Yes.
Most of our life is powerless cognitions.
Correct.
And he gives us the experience of making powerful cognitions a daily part of our life, like shifting the whole game.
Yes.
So then these powers express effortlessly, and we are able to cause the reality we want in life. Right? So,
and one of the biggest changes I've seen in myself is I used to be very, very, I really needed to know, and I had to be planned out like 6 months in advance. It had to happen according to, how I had put things in order.
Right.
From that to being able to be flexible, to have a plan, to think through and, analyze, understand what needs to be done. But being flexible enough to take changes as they come, to flow, and for most part, I would say, to not get worked up. See, I've learned from Swamiji that any negative emotions that we bring up, right, is so unnecessary and it is so draining.
Yeah.
It totally, makes you tired and it makes you feel like there's nothing left in life worth living for.
Yes.
So from that to, not that I felt that before, but I used to get irritated if somebody didn't follow according to things. But to move from there to being able to see where people are.
To really understand.
To understand people where they are, to understand myself where I am, to see how to bridge the gap, how to, communicate. From being somebody who used to be more of an introvert, less, talking to somebody who talks a lot. I'm sure my Kotaris and the Sangha members will definitely say that she talks. But
it's coming from a space of wanting to share. Let's see, when you meet any like Nithyananda Sangha member,
anybody,
you just mention Swamiji, tell me about your experience. They can just go on and on and on because it's an experience that's happening currently, and there's so much examples in our lives which cause us to talk about them. So.
Absolutely, there's something happening every day. It's exciting. You come for satsang and you're like, okay, what's Swamiji going to talk about today?
Yes, and speaking of, probably so. We'll probably have more interviews with Ma Nithyanandam and speak on different topics of being around Swamiji, being a part of the Nityanandeshwar Hindu Temple in Los Angeles. I think we can just close with, there's actually a 2-day workshop happening at the end of August, and it's the first of its kind. So if anyone is interested in taking Swamiji's workshops, it's offered all over the world via 2-way video conferencing. So you just have to, I'll let Ma Muktika take it over. But
I will go one step ahead. It's not, if somebody is interested, each and every individual who wants to see how empowered am I, what is inside me, how can I discover myself and live my life in the most empowered, fulfilled way.
Right.
I would say, please don't miss any of Swamiji's programs because everything is a gem. So the next one is coming up where he's going to talk about and initiate people into the power of Aushadhi, which is medicine. And imagine being able to heal yourself. What a wonderful thing, right? So please do visit the website innerawakening.org/glimpses-mahasadashivoham.
And we'll put it in the description of this
Absolutely.
video.
Don't miss it. You have a question, you have any doubts, please ask us. Go find yourself. That's what I would say.
Oh, and also breaking news, today's satsang.
Yes.
Which is in just...
how many minutes?
Looks like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Available on nithyananda.tv. Or if any connectivity issues, you can check out the youtube.com/nithyananda.tv page. Or you can go to the Paramahamsa Nithyananda Facebook page where it streams live. So we just got an announcement this morning. There's going to be a special mega satsang or mahat satsang on.
It's called, I think it's called Secrets, Sadashiva's Secrets, right?
Rahasya.
Rahasya.
Yes.
Sadashiva's Rahasya. So let's see what Mahadeva and Sadashiva have to show us. What's this secret all about?
Yes.
Right? Something very, very interesting, I'm curious.
Yes.
And I can't wait to hear what Swamiji is going to reveal today.
Yes.
every day has been something new, something
Oh
different.
God, we can't keep up.
We're just running to keep up with Swamiji.
Yes. So please join whatever you're doing. If you're at work, on your way to work, just kind of take a pause, put your headphones in, and tune into satsang. So thank you, Ma Nithyananda, for interviewing me today, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yes.
And Nithyanandam.
And we'll be back with more.
Yes. Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji. Nithyanandam.